Why won't stocks go down? I know, right? WTF. They keep going up, up, up. And this is Nvidia. It's now worth $5 trillion. That's a pretty big company. This pattern right here is the warning for me. So right now, it kind of feels like a beach ball above water for the second time. So everything is fine until it's not. Remember, we talked about the first beach ball before. I'll remind you of where that was. It was right here. The first beach ball was we're back above the 50 DMA. Pop, flag. Then what happened? We ran to the all-time high. What happened here? Another beach ball. It didn't even come back down and test it. So there's your second beach ball. So pop, flag, pop, flag. And what continues to happen? Well, it's another new all-time high. And it had a massive pop. So again, it's a joke, but don't be the kid who's going to get hit. Yeah, that's not fun. Don't be like that. So be mindful of the patterns and be mindful of what the trend is, because the trend is your friend. I know these hollow candles are often hard to see if you're looking on your phone, like your iPhone or whatever. But if the candles are hard to see, it's bullish. So if you watch my videos and you're ever wondering, is the chart bullish? If it's hard to see it, it's bullish. Right now, these candles are hard to see. Hollow, 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 hollow. Even yesterday, technically hollow by 1 cent. Today, it's an engulfing candle, but we have a higher high, we have a lower low, and that is pretty confusing for the average person. I would agree. It's pretty confusing. That's technically a higher high, a lower low. We close unchanged. We're red in after hours. Man, WTF, like exactly. What it kind of feels like is this, right? F this, F that, F everything. I don't know what's going on. What do? I don't have enough stonks. And everybody's got the stonks. So let's go through and see exactly what is happening right now, because I think this is what's happening. People are like, oh my goodness, finally a dip. I'm going to dip my toe right on in there, right? Buy on the dippers, buying holders, average downers. There is a relentless bid out there for these stonks. I'm talking about Nvidia. I'm talking about the Mag 7. Even Kathy's junk, again, joke from roughly 2 years ago, woof. Even her stocks are like, yeah, I'm just going to take her stocks and I'm going to lift them right on up. Even her terrible stocks in her portfolio are going higher. Look at her terrible portfolio, up by 57% on the year. Nice job, Kathy. So is it all over? Well, it depends whether you're Microsoft or not, because their website's broken right now. Microsoft broken, Amazon was broken before. What's going on to the mega caps? Is that why the stock is down in after hours? And what did Powell say today? Because we briefly had a dip. And what was it? It was a buy. We didn't even get guacamole, right? It was like a 0.5% decline right there. The buy the dip crew was right there to buy it up. And we'll talk about that in a minute here. Here's what Jerome said. Today's cut was risk management. Going forward is a different thing. Isn't that what I've been saying in my videos, like kind of as a theme for a long time? Yeah, well, again, I'm not Jerome Powell, but he moves the market. I don't. What he says matters. What I say does not matter. Traders pair bets on December Fed cut and now see 71% chance, not 90. So it's still over 50%, going from 90 down to 71 on that comment is what made stocks go down. That's it. So during the day, if you understand how these Fed meetings work, and if you don't, I understand it can be very tough for volatility to stomach this, because look what happens, right? Everything looks like it's totally fine. Pop, flag, and then it goes down. But technically, it's a knee jerk. What's a knee jerk reaction? Well, the first move is not the true move. So if we slam down, you want to buy it up. If we rally up, you want to sell it off. It's just because of positioning. I know it sounds weird that we have a knee jerk reaction every time, and it's very predictable. So if you wanted to buy the dip and you saw the stocks crash, I would not be in there buying that dip today. This is not one that gets me excited. But I know who is excited to buy it. It's people who are underperforming. Because right now, if you look at an annual performance for the S&P, oh my goodness, 17.29%. I'll switch here to full candle so it's a little bit easier to see. We'll go to a 3-month. And this is who the money managers are fighting. It's the S&P. It's up by 3.18%. If you're clipping your coupon, which means you're collecting bonds or you're holding the 10-year note, well, you're going to make 4% for the whole year. The S&P just this quarter, since it opened, is up 3%. In the last 6 months, it's up by 11. Year to date, it's up by 17. The NASDAQ, more, 24%. And off the low, it's more than a double. 260 up here, it's up 150%. So, okay, so S&P up, NASDAQ up, gold up, dollar up, VIX up, 10-year note up. Everything's totally fine, right? All right, let's get on with the show. This is a really important pattern. It is a topping pattern. It doesn't mean it has to happen, but what this basically is, let's click here. Let's go to the candle. Go to the chart. This is in our help article. If you want to go find it, it's under active investing and then candlestick patterns. So what we're going to do here, and if you don't know what a hollow stick candle is, it's right here. Pause if you need to. Learn how to read the charts if you want to have proper insight. Because again, there's certain things that matter. The open, the close, the high, the low. It tells you who won. So I like to know who won. When I'm watching a game, I like to know, okay, well, did the Jays win or did the Dodgers win? And leave me a comment and let me know who you think is going to win the World Series. Let's go down here to, we have a fail breakdown, which happened, right? Then we have a fail breakout. That's an engulfing candle. So for me, when I say engulfing candle, I already know what it means. But this is what we call an evening star doji. That's what I mentioned yesterday. So it's the opposite of a morning star. Happens near the high. It's often followed by a massive pump candle. And then we get a really small doji. And then it goes red. Well, again, patterns work until they don't. Like you think, oh, I'll grab my umbrella today because there's going to be some rain. And then it doesn't rain. So are you angry that you brought your umbrella with you? You shouldn't. You should be smart enough to know that if I don't need it, but I have it, that's nice. If I need it and don't have it, that's not nice. So if you want to be nice, consider smashing the thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. So the beach ball is above water. Stonks just want to go up. And right now, I'll show you something else that I find very curious here. So that's Nvidia. Let's go back to the chart. S&P had that warning sign yesterday, and I thought it might backtest, but I said, I don't know. Same thing with Nvidia here. Volume's high. It's a full candle, which means we close lower than the open. But there's a really big event happening for Jensen a little bit later this week that I didn't even know about. So I think a lot more people might actually get surprised. And the buy the dippers, they're just dipping their toes in, right? Not even a 1% dip. So what happened today? Because we got big companies reporting. Meta, Microsoft, Google. What happened to them? And then we got all this news to go through. Today was Wednesday. So, oh my God, lots of news. Google's the good stock. So there you go. Why stocks don't want to go down is because if you have a good business that gets better, people are willing to bid you up. And Google is now worth a third of $10 trillion, exactly 3.33. Now it's higher in after hours. Congratulations. It's probably going for 4 trillion if I was to guess. So we got one sad stonk here. We got Meta down by 8% down in after hours. And then if we look here to Microsoft, again, their website was down earlier, but yesterday it basically had to move for earnings. They got told they're going to get a free 27% of OpenAI. How is there more hype than that? The AI company, you get a couple $100 billion free position. The company, I think, raised last at $500 billion. They are getting 27%. Quick math tells me that that's $135 billion. So like Microsoft, a big stock. So on a $4 trillion company, does that really move the needle? Not really. It's like 2 or 3%. It's what happened yesterday. And we talked about an exhaustive move or a markdown before, where once we gap up and we get the follow through red candle and we get more full candles, we can go down more to crash onto support or the 50 MA. Where are we right now? We're filling the second gap. We're not even on support yet. So the stock is just doing what it does. I think, again, this feels, again, just feels, because I look at these charts all the time. It feels like this, where you're like, oh, there's no way it's going to go higher. Oh, it only went up a little bit more. Oh my God, what's happening? That's kind of what it feels like here. Let's look at one more. GLW, Corning. Oh my goodness. You think, okay, well, the stock can't go higher now. I'm watching it. I'll buy the first back test. I'll dip my toes in. There's not even a toe dip in here. Boop. Right? And they're like, well, it was $50 not that long ago. I can't pay 90 now. Well, some people did. Boop. Poof. Right. Spice E. So the stocks that are rallying and holding are very notable against the stocks that are rallying and maybe not holding. There's your head. We got a shoulder, a potential shoulder that might happen inside of here. So why is this stock not bullish as much? It depends on what chart you're looking at. And for people like me, I see two zones. That's the first thing that sticks out. I see support down here, roughly 43 to the 50 MA. And then I look out to the higher time frame chart. And this is what's more important. I own the stock, by the way. If it backtests here, you should be excited to buy. If you don't, it's because you were probably one of the people in this pump volume here. Look at all the volume, it's pumping. So the volume is pumping, lots of people are buying and selling, and now they're not sure what to do because in this area here, it marked up so quickly that didn't have a chance to buy down here, right? Instantly, price discovered to a higher point. So you don't have a chance to buy it at yesterday's prices. On this one, you can. You don't have a chance to buy it yet. Look at that. Gap down, pump up, bullish engulfing, new all-time high close, green in after hours. This stock won't stop going down. It literally can't go down right now. Doesn't matter what you do to it. It just wants to go up. It's incredible. So why is this happening? All right, let's go forward. I'll come back to that in a second. Microsoft, Meta, Google, right? All these companies reported. AVGO. Look at the board. Like it's the first color you see is probably red. If we go like this, it's a little bit easier to see. Oh, there we go. Easier to see. Let's go back to a group because what's happening over here? Oh, Caterpillar. Is that an AI stock now? It's got AI gains. Yes. And right now, the market is just treading water as the leaders underneath. Again, it's the have and have nots. It's bifurcated. The good stocks are doing great. The bad stocks are not doing so great. This is what it's all about. What Jerome Powell says matters less because he's not going to be the Fed chair in 6 months. And man, it's what Trump decides that really matters, not what Powell decides. Does the Fed going to cut? Are they going to forward guidance? Who cares? What does Trump think? They haven't met in over 6 years. This comes after months of tariff feints and escalating rhetoric. Oh boy. Part of the deal better work here, right? Let's make sure we get our hair did. When we get our nose nice and powdered. We got our best suit on. Our best shoes are shined. All right, we got to show up and matter. Oh, and Jensen's going. Mentioned that earlier. Let's pick up on that now. So Nvidia CEO is heading to South Korea. Really? Oh, that's cool. What are you doing over there? So why would he fly there if they're going to be discussing potential Blackwell chip sales, which Trump mentioned this morning? Oh, SK Group and Samsung. Oh. And then Apple reports earnings tomorrow for a silicon supply chain update, probably. And right now there is Jensenity. Literally. A lot of people don't even know who this is. This guy's a total nerd. So why is there Jensenity? Why are these girls crushing over him? He's like a pop star. And now we're going to find out whether he's got that real pop star lust. And I'll show you why. Because, man, again, total nerd, but he's a rock star. People are asking him to sign their tits. And he's like, yes, I will oblige. Please, show me. Yeah, in the background's like, ick. But why does this matter? I'll show you right now. There's something called APEC. Trump might have mentioned it. You might be familiar with the meeting happening, but you might have missed this because I didn't even know. I didn't know Jensen was going there. He was just in Washington, D.C. Let's see what's happening here. Wow. Jensen Huang, number one speaker. Yeah, number one. So if we go here to day 4, which is the 31st, what happens? Oh, my goodness. On day 4, the closer. Who's the closer? Jensen. Yes, but look over here. Oh, my God. It's an actual pop star. I don't know who this guy is. I don't really know a lot about BTS. But here's what I want to know. Who's got the better fans? Jensen? With all of his robots and all of his nerds. All right, man, he's got some real fans. There is real Jensenity out there. Or the pop star, whoever RM is. Because he's an actual pop star. And like, I know this man is pretty popular. So who's got the better fans? I don't know. Jensen's got some pretty big fans. So I think that's going to be pretty important. Talking about really big fans, have a look at what's happening over here. Ding, ding, ding. Someone's ringing in the TSX or the Toronto Market Exchange over in Exposibram. Very, very curious. Who's that person right there who's putting his hands down? Looks like he's the leader with the other leader and the third leader and then all the leaders. Who's that? Oh, Raul. What is going on here, sir? Remember the update that we talked about between all these countries, critical minerals, Trump and Xi meeting tomorrow? There's a crescendo coming. You might have missed it, but Raul didn't. He's the president of IBRAM. And the reason why this matters is because the U.S. was meeting with them on the sidelines of Exposibram, which I just showed you. And here's why it matters. Every country is lining up right now. And what the U.S. is missing is this. United States Defense Industrial Base. This is from the EU Parliament. The United States Industrial Base, or the DIB, right, is the world's largest, comprising over 600,000, blah, blah, blah. They talk about Boeing, the North Group, the DoD. They talk about Buy European. They talk about a lot of stuff. But specifically, they're talking about individual companies. They're talking about supply chains. They're talking about having to buy together to stockpile. And these critical minerals are pretty critical because if you want to build defense stuff, you're just not able to. Supply chain resilience. The DoD depends on a worldwide network. For what? For batteries and industrial equipment. For instance, China is kind of effing us right now. They got everything. Yep. Rare earths. Oh, so like that rare earth stuff might really, really matter. It might. If we go through here again, there's stockpiling, supply and demand, there's fragmentation, duplication of orders, lower efficiencies. They're going to do it all together. They're going to have a big kumbaya and say, yeah, let's make a big pile of sand, a big pile of cobalt, a big pile of all these different elements they need. That's what I think. So if we go through here again, this is the EU Parliament talking about the DoD. Well, where's the US government's report? Yeah, that's my question. Where's theirs? Well, they probably can't put one together yet. They don't have all the stuff they need, like those sweet, sweet critical minerals. And the reason why this is so important is for a very simple reason. I'm just going to read you the headline right here. This goes back to January, a year ago, basically. Brazil offers $1 billion, basically, $850 to back strategic minerals. Financing expected to generate $8 billion in investments. Those are US dollars, too. FINEP earmarked $5 billion. For what? In financing for backing of companies, including credit lines and equity investments. The support can be used to develop supply chains for critical minerals, including lithium, rare earth elements, nickel, graphite, and silicon, as well as investments in manufacturing batteries, photovoltaic cells, and magnets. We've shown you the graph. We've shown you the geographic map where Brazil has all the good shit. All the shit you want to make your shit is here. You got to take them seriously here. I don't think people really understand because these stocks have not really moved much, and other than a few. Remember, leaders lead and followers follow. Look at this stock; it doesn't want to stop going up either. It was over here at 40 cents not that long ago, basically a $4 stock, 10x. It's a big boy now. It's currently worth $763 million. It's getting bigger. So why is this stock going up when American stocks are going down? Like, why is this one down and the other one's up if they basically sell the same thing? Well, why is this one up but the other one's down? That's the whole beauty of being an investor. We get a vote on which companies we think are going to go up. And if we happen to be correct about our thesis, we make money. If we're wrong, we don't make money. So people are buying stocks that are going higher and they are going higher. There is momentum. And this trade is real. This is almost a year old. I think they're ready for an update. For what? For everything that's listed right here. It's all the stuff the US needs. So a year later, they're like, yeah, you know what? We can wait no more, right? We got to move. Western nations have been ramping up efforts to bolster critical minerals to reduce reliance on China. Brazil, with its significant mineral reserves, is seeking to position itself as a supplier of raw materials while developing a local supply chain to add value to the metals. In the event that just closed out today, I think it's going to matter here. Okay, let's round it out because I don't want to make the video too long, but we have to get through the stuff here. So let's close that out. Special infrastructure, right? Geopolitical mapping. I'll come back to that tomorrow. Here's the S&P. So why can't stocks go down? Pause right now if you need to. This is a tool that we're building right now that I don't really want to show, but I'm showing because I think people might get value from it. This is how we derive our money line and how we can tell you whether or not we're in cruise control on the highway or we're not. Here's the dots. It's a little bit more complicated. We talked about truncating it down yesterday. We'll make it even simpler. We're in cruise control. So we can see the multiple right here with ATR is 7.6 on SPY. Our money line is at 669.86, basically 670, which means we would need 2 normal one-day moves to the downside before this line is lost. We have daily support unless we sell off for 2 days hard in a row. Then we land, crash on support. What would that look like? It would look like us going down to the moving average on the daily chart. So like we can slam down to the 50 DMA. Let's go back to here. So if the S&P 500 was to slam down to the 50 MA, oh my God. Well, that would be support until it's not. So we would expect to find buyers there. Look at the number though, 660. So what we're trying to do is to find out where the money is flowing before we land on support. Our number is going to be higher. So our number is at basically 670. It shows you. So we would get a warning, basically 10 points before the S&P is on support. So we can stop out. Our system can scan to see if we're still in cruise control. And if we are or aren't, we can reposition. So cruise control on the 1-day chart. It says right there, cruise control because it's green. Green is good. So we're good on the 1 day as we go from in the street to merging onto the highway. Oh, also in cruise control. Okay. So our foot's on the gas. We're merging onto the highway. Cruise control would require 2 weeks of selling to the downside before this line is lost too. 2 1-week moves. 2 new 1-week candles to the maximum ATR to the downside times 2. Okay, so we're merging onto the highway. Oh my goodness. 2.16 ATR multiple. We're in cruise control in the 1 month. There you go. Cruise control on the highway. It's done. We need 2 months of selling to the downside before this line is lost. The money line says buy. Went from the city to merging on the highway to now we're on the highway in cruise control going 100 miles an hour, and there's nothing to worry about until there's a sign on the road, until we see light coming down or there's clouds coming up. There's nothing for us to worry about. This will be our first warning here. And today we got both. We got a failed breakdown and a failed breakout. That's an engulfing candle. So it's a very confusing tape right now. So what I would encourage you to do is to focus less on the reasons why we're going up and more on the fact that we just are going up. We were cautiously bullish before, but we're on the highway. So it's like, okay, well, we're in cruise control. We're on an Autobahn. We can do 100 miles an hour. And I want to go 100 miles an hour. So right now, there's no one else on the road. I see a deer coming ahead. I'm going to take my foot off the gas. Out of cruise control. I'm going to hover over the brake, maybe slow down temporarily. I'm going to be cautious. But then when the deer's gone, I'm on the Autobahn. I'm going 100 miles again. I'm going back into cruise control. That's letting your money work for you. That's working. Clean break. And again, if it's hard to see, it's bullish. So if you're like, oh my God, I can't see what he's looking at. The candles are hollow. Yeah, bullish. Hollow, bullish. As we look back to our notes now to round it out. So watch for the zinger tomorrow. This one's not quite closed out, so we'll check it off tomorrow. But it's been a lot of stuff out of here so far. Even Kathy Woods had an update from FII, so she probably got her speaking fee, $10,000 to $20,000. Nice, good for her. Looking to expose you, Bram. That wraps up tomorrow. Actually, I was wrong about that date. There's one more date, I think, and then Bank of Canada, FOMC, Meta, Microsoft, Google. That's done. BOJ by tomorrow. Jerome Powell spoke. So it's not that what Jerome Powell says does not matter. It's that the president of the United States matters more at this moment than the president of the Fed, because Fed chair is outgoing. Trump is there for 3.5 more years, I think, 3.5 years-ish. And he's meeting with the other leader of the world tomorrow. And then Jensenity might happen right after that, where he's like, you get chips, everybody gets chips. There's no dip today, only chips. All right. So that's our Halloween trick or treat. Well, it's going to be a treat for everybody. I think this one might be curious tomorrow too. Apple might be very, very curious. ECB rate decision, GDP, which is expected to be strong. BOJ, BOC, they cut. We cut. We can check these things off. Check it out. We'll check back tomorrow on that one. These ones will all be closed out at the same time. And then watch for Jensenity on the 31st, right? For a spooky, spooky Halloween. And then just to close it out, if you've been hearing about Trump and Carney, who's the Canadian Prime Minister, speaking, I think there's a reason why they were both at the table but did not want to speak. They're part of a group. It's called the Group of Seven. And the Group of Seven is an elite group. It's the most elite countries in the world. And we happen to be the host country this year. We happen to be hosting on the 30th and 31st in Toronto, which are currently in the World Series. Again, the Blue Jays. Leave me a comment if you're a Blue Jays fan or if you're a Dodgers fan. But the Energy and Environment Ministers meeting is happening on the 30th and 31st. I don't want to tell you what to think. I want to lead you some breadcrumbs. And if you want to find out more, go find it out on your own or come hang out tomorrow on the stream. Let's go through here. What does this say? Excuse me. Oh, there's the guy we were just talking about. There's Raul. Yeah, hey, Raul. Okay, cool. Platinum. Whoa, that sounds cool. Diamond. Master. Whoa. Wait, that's an American company. I know Alcoa. Yeah, I know Alcoa too. That's a Canadian company. I know them. There's a lot of very interesting companies in here. That's an American company. Oh, what's this? Canadian Brazilian Business of Commerce. Whoa. That's very curious. One more quick thing. I'm Canadian, so if you don't like what you're hearing, again, click off. But again, we were the G7 host. It's just the way it is. You guys will be host again soon. On June 17th, over at Canaxis, Alberta, which is just outside where I live, ironically, they came to me. They're like, you know what, Justin, we got such great, fantastic news that eventually your stock that's going down is going to stop going down and go mega, mega up. When? You might have to wait a little bit, maybe a medium amount, maybe a long amount. Might take months, might take years, but when it comes, oh boy. Here's what they talked about. These two BDEs, right? They got a lot of energy now. Lula wants to run for a third term as an 80-year-old. Good for him. Here's what they talked about. At the G7, they came. Lula came. He was a guest, right? He invited him with a growing strategic partnership, emphasized the immense potential for increased cooperation. The leaders discussed opportunities for Canada to deepen trade, commerce, and investment in Brazil. That's why I think that Trump was at the table with Carney. Again, we're part of APEC. The U.S. might not respect us, but other people around the world do, maybe more than the U.S. And we're polite. Well, you know what? When we show up, we like to win too. We're human. PM Carney underscored the values between Canada and Brazil, including protecting the environment and building strong economies for Indigenous people. They both care about that. Good for them. The leaders are discussing shared priorities, such as fortifying critical mineral supply chains. Wait, what the fuck? Is that why Aclara is going up? Well, again, Aclara is selling into the United States, backed by the U.S. government. So if one company's done it, can another one do it? Oh, resuming trade. What trade negotiations? What does that mean? Well, that's Mercosur Canada trade agreement. Canada, as the G7, is the only country with an independent bilateral trade deal with every other G7 country. It's hard to lock us out of the world. We got a really big spot on the map. We have a really big country. We don't have a lot of people, but we got a really big country. We got a lot of minerals. We happen to lead the world in terms of mining, and specifically stocks listed on stock exchanges for mining. Oh, wait. Hosting the G7, they're hosting the Comp 30. Whoa. Wait, one more thing I'll just leave you with here because I have to. All right, where's this last one here? I'm not even sharing you the best stuff because I don't want you to think a certain way. I want for you to, if you're still watching, I want for you to come to the conclusion all on your own. All right, I think I got it here. Federal government announces BRL 5 billion in Saudi investments towards mineral research in Brazil. Oh, wait, what's this? January 2020. Around the same time, we heard about that money coming in from the Saudis. That's where IFF was just hosted, by the way, over in Riyadh. Whoa. Who's this guy? Only matters. If you want to not hear about strategic minerals over in Brazil, you want to know about this guy. Anyways, let's read this here. Because Trump is in love with the Saudi crown prince, right? Loves him, right? Can't he's just gushing. Why? Well, maybe there's a reason why. Because everyone wants him. Between the Minister of Mines and Energy, Alexandre Salveria, sorry if I mispronounced that, and the Saudi Minister Industry Mineral Resources, Bandar Al Kouharef. I'm probably butchering that. I apologize. Madam will establish its first offer in Sao Paulo. This is from the Brazilian government. I think it's pretty legit. And remember, Trump just met with him. And on the sidelines, they were talking with mining executives in Brazil. They might want a deal. Where are we looking at this right here? Here's what I care about. The only thing I care about. It's a date. We will convene at COP30 for what? We must bolster multilateralism, the United Nations forum like this one, and global governance. If the United States wants to step away, others will fill in. They told you. They told you their plan. They told you we're going to fill the hole if there's one there. That's from January. We will convene at COP30 in Brazil to discuss the entire supply chain and energy transition. Look at who rang the TMX today. That's a pretty big deal. It's not just Canada. It's not just Brazil. It's the whole world. So if we go back to our scorecard here, again, might not be your favorite country, but we will be hosting the G7 on the 30th or 31st. And then on the 4th of November, our prime minister releases his budget. And he's going to go big burr. We're going to call him Black Card Carney now. He's going to take our economy and slap it on the black card. $1 trillion. Our country is 10 times smaller than yours. That's like the US spending 10 trillion. Oh, wow. He's got that BDE. Yeah. He's got that BDE. He's got that big energy. So this is going to be over. I happen to think there might be some overlap on that. I happen to think Trump sitting at the meeting in South Korea and not wanting to be there with Carney was not really that important. You got a crown today too, though, right? Golden crown for the prince. No, sorry, for the king, for the god, because he's the best person ever. No one's ever done it like him. You've never seen a president like this before. Never. So what does he get? You get yourself a nice little crown. President Trump is awarded replica crown from the president of South Korea. He's like, oh, sir, don't worry. You got very big hands. You got a beautiful little mushroom there. We love it. Put this hat on your head and tell us that you love it. All right, that's probably enough for today. So let's just get back to here. The U.S. has GDP going into pre-market tomorrow. You can come hang out with me at 8:30 a.m. if you want to see that. Otherwise, Apple and Amazon, honestly, here's what I want to leave you with, all jokes aside, if you're still watching. Again, thank you very much. Thank you for bearing with me. I kind of told you that all this news does not really matter as much as what the tape does. The tape means what do people vote on and say what the S&P 500 is worth. So if you thought to yourself today, man, stocks should have gone down. Now you see them down in after hours, you're like, oh, I knew it. That's the whole point. The whole point of a cycle is that you are not going to feel the way that you should, because your feelings are going to cloud your judgment. Men don't like talking about feelings, but most traders are men. So if you don't like talking about your feelings and you just hold it in, the tape is going to tell you whether you're a winner or a loser. That's all there are. There's winners and losers in the market. There's nothing in between. You win or you lose. So if you don't want to lose, look at the tape. If it kind of feels like a beach ball because you've been bearish and you see your account go mega down, well, it's because stocks are going mega up. And if you have a hard time believing it, don't trust what is in the news. Trust the tape. That's people voting. And here's what's really important. They've not met in 6 or 7 years. I think I said 7 years. There's been a little bit of tension building up. What if the whole world has been watching mom and dad fight for 7 years and they just won't shut the fuck up? Right? Honestly, I just want to go to bed. Can you please just shut up? I closed my door, but it's so loud downstairs because mom and dad just can't seem to get it together. And now finally, dad got his hair did, his powder all nice and dolled up, and he's got his orange just on perfect today. And he's got his best slacks. He's got his nice polished shoes on, and he's going to go see his girlfriend. The wife is going to tell him, all right, go ahead. Tomorrow, there's 7 years of buildup that's happening. If there happens to be some release, what happens after release? Well, that's called a new order, right? YouTube doesn't like when I say the word in between. So I'm going to say there's a new order potentially being reestablished or global peace. What does the stock market love? Certainty. Certainty. The market has been going higher relentlessly without certainty. So if bad news cannot take it down when historically it is supposed to be tanking right now, what could mega spending in AI do? Because remember, OpenAI just said we're now a public company. Here's our 27%, Microsoft, F off. We're going to become a stock soon. Cool. The average person who's excited about Jensen are also nerds because they know what Nvidia is. Oh, it's a gaming computer company that now makes the cryptos and they make the AI. Yes, they make computer chips or semiconductors. Most people don't know what that is. It's like completely Chinese to them. So could the market keep going higher? Absolutely. geopolitically speaking, if there is a de-escalation, God forbid, a master deal, right? A grand bargain. 350 billion from South Korea, thank you. 550 billion from Japan, thank you. From wherever else. And Trump's going to take that as a win, and it will be a win. So who cares about the rest of the news? The two leaders of the free world and the other world are meeting tomorrow. Are they going to shake hands? Are they going to say, oh, so nice to see you, sir? Is the deal going to get signed? Because it's pre-negotiated. If Trump flew all around the world to that part of the country to go meet him, and he's the only one talking, I know who's in control. I wish it was the other way. In the meantime, though, if our goal is to make money, we're on the highway in cruise control going 100 miles an hour on the Autobahn. The only time it's going to change is if we get a new data point, the daily, the weekly, or the monthly. All right. I think that's going to be it. So it's a spicy end of the month going into early November. We're going to see the fallout from that. We're going to see the rest of the world getting together, whether or not the US wants to be included. I happen to think there might be a resolution on TikTok too. The data going down, right? Notably the mega cap companies, the megas, talking about Brazil, talking about those underground sea cables, talking about COP, talking about the Canadian budget. I think all the stuff is going to come to a climax, a crescendo. And it's going to be very fun to watch. So why can't stocks stop going down? It's because people are not in and the party is just starting. I know that sounds really weird for people who trade stocks like you and me, but let me show you one more quick thing. I know I keep saying one more thing and I tend to do that, but let's look right here because I want to remind myself. There is literally Jensenity. The company is the most valuable in the world, $5 trillion effing dollars. But I don't hear this. I hear it within the stock market crowd. I do not hear it from the average mom and pop. I also do not hear it from the $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines, the money market funds. For some reason, they just won't hit it, right? They quit it. They're like, no, I can't hit that. I quit it. That's a lot of money. If it was in tech, it would have doubled. They would have made 7 trillion more. Instead, they made 7 trillion times 0.04 times 0.04 times 0.04. So they made roughly, let's just make it simple. They made 280 billion times 4. They made 700 billion. Not a trillion. They could have made 7 trillion. That's a tenth of what they could have made. Man, I'd be a little bit pissed off. I'd have a little bit of FOMO. I'd be in there buying the first dip I got, dipping my toes in. Fuck it. Let's buy. Right? F this, F that, F everything. So who do you hear saying this? Are they saying, oh my God, the rally's real? Or are they saying, I think the recovery is maybe possible. It's possible. The rally's real. Oh my God, time to get fully invested. Time to margin up. Time to go tell everybody. I'm not hearing this. If it was any other CEO, I would be less confident. But Nvidia is worth the equivalent of how many other companies combined? Nvidia, 5.03 trillion. Oh my God. Well, that's a meta. That's only 1.89. And after hours, it's even less. So let's round it up to 2. Let's be generous. All right. So Google and Meta, that's Nvidia. Everyone knows those companies. It's also basically Microsoft. It's 4 trillion. Microsoft and Tesla. Boom. There you go. There's Nvidia. That's how important it is. And people don't even know what the company is. That's incredible. Why? There's so many potential buyers out there. They've never heard about Nvidia. They don't know what it is. Oh my God, AI. I like AI. How do you make AI? Oh, Jensenity. Oh, I get it. Oh, I should go tell everybody. Oh my God, look how smart I am. I just bought it and it went up. We're just going to cool off, dip our toes in. All right. Get a chance to average down. Down, down, down. I have some stocks that are right down here, by the way. Angry, depressed, happen to think they're going to turn around, happen to think they're going to do really well. But I don't know for sure. The only thing that's for sure is that everything is for sure. That's why we make our plan. So we talk about Fibonacci extension numbers, and we just wait for the chips to fall. We rocked that R3. The Bulls scored a touchdown. So if you like winning, watch the scoreboard. The team that is winning has momentum on every single time frame. All right, Bears, I'll drink one for you tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.